What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is your host, Josh Tomlinson. Today we'll be going over specifically into course design. This will be our first goal. I'll kind of go over and explain the different tabs and how you should progress as a player, and then we'll go into how to start and where to start as a course designer. Okay, moving over to my player. This is really just to kind of see where your items are. You can go into the locker and it'll show you all of your items, whether that be your fittings, your clubs, versus your your fittings, your apparel. If you bought the Jordan pack and you're looking for the Jordan shoes, they're going to be under the footwear. And just be careful of the tabs up at the top. You can see shoes and then you can go to the socks. So just be careful with what you're on and the tabs that you're on. But that's all there. Golfer is important. This is your archetype, or no, not your archetype, your skill tree. And every level, you can see I'm level 50. Every level you get 1 point, and 1 point helps you on these. I would go through, I'm going to make a separate video on this, on how to do this, but if you want to screenshot this or go look this up, there's a bunch of people that make videos on this specific tree, so we can go into that later on, what has helped me out specifically, but you can kind of see the rows that aren't great for me. Like this row is not great. This row, really not that great. This row, really not that great. Really, where I spend most of my points is these last 2 rows. Just being honest with you. Archetype is going to be something that you're going to have to figure out yourself as well. Rhythm is probably one of the better ones. My thoughts is greensman. You're either a good putter or you're not. Like, that's literally what it comes down to. It does help out a little bit, but I mean, I'd rather have recovery shots and just and be a good putter. Powerhouse is a good one, but I mean, you really have to be a good swing. You have to be on it. This is good. I'll switch this out if I know I'm going to play a long course that I cannot reach. I need that little bit of distance on the par 5s maybe. That's where I switched to Powerhouse. Rhythm is where I keep it at. I mean, your swing difficulty is just so much easy. Your carry distance is where it's hurt, but I mean, at the end of the day, just loft it up. You'll be fine. Sculptor, if you like to work the ball. Woodsman isn't a bad shot, but the putting, whew. But, here's your info. Here's your appearance if you want to change your guy. That's just really what we got there. I used the stock guy pretty much and just put a beard on him. Worked out for me, but really what it is. If you want to change your caddy, that's where we go. Change our caddy and clubhouse pass. I mean, that's where it is. Ends in 6 days. So what? 5th or so of January. Okay. My career we've already went through in the My Career tab. So really nothing to explain there. I mean, that's just where we're seeing Josh Tomlinson just kill it, making double eagles, holing out. That's where we see that. Competitive is societies. We'll go into that with our next video. That will be our online play series, and we'll go into that as well as casual. The one thing that I do want to recommend, if you haven't done this before, if you haven't done anything and you don't want any other tips other than just one and you're fairly new to the game, is how you manage this training tab. I'll go ahead and go into it. I know we're into the course designer part right now, but this is huge. So you'll go to the practice, and then you'll go to swing calibration. It'll take you again. I know that's this was in 2K21 the same way, but it gets annoying after a while having to go into the second loading screen. Alright, now it says take 10 powerful swings to calibrate your swing. Try to be consistent with your swing. Basically, don't worry about where the ball goes. I'm aiming at the 250. It gives you a 3 wood. I'm aiming at the 250. Do I hit the 250? Yes. No. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you can miss it way left, way right. So like there, I kind of pushed it out just a little bit, but it's really not going to affect whether you push or pull the ball. Or I guess it does, but it's not really going to affect your curve. It's more going to affect how fast you swing. Alright, so you can see here that we've calibrated our swing correctly. It says perfect downswing timing has been calibrated. So if you've now that that's done, no matter where you play at, it's gonna be there. That swing calibration is gonna be your new swing. So theoretically, if I hit this one, same swing, I mean it's gonna be right there. I mean that was right over the 250. So I mean, it's gonna help you out quite a bit. There are lessons, there are other assets in here that you could use, but with that being said, that is your main one. So if you don't play golf very much, this is you going to the range and figuring it out. And so this is the game's equivalent of that. So go to the range, figure it out, figure what the issues are, and let's move on. We have our starting to design a corner. We're not going to design today. We're really just going to get into what these tabs are. First is your new course. So if you're starting off, you're probably not going to have unpublished courses, published courses. You may have this tab, but it's because I've already had them, if not. So new course is where you're going to start off at. Unpublished courses are if you're editing a course and you're just not done, because it doesn't, you're not going to just create a course in one sitting and then leave. This PWW is, I'd name them just random, like you can see proto. Like I really just name them whatever until I get to the point of naming them. This PWW I've been working on for a long time. Not a long time, but I mean a couple weeks. And it's still not done. We can go into that in the next video, but that's where your courses that are not done yet. Published courses are going to be all the courses that you've published. All the courses that you've come out with are going to be here. Once you publish a course, you've published a course. You can't go back and edit it and redo it. Once you publish, you're done. It's done. You can go back and edit it, but that one course that you've published already is going to be published already, and you're going to have another course that's exactly the same with one tree missing or whatever you took out and put back in and published. That's the only difference it's going to be. There's going to be two identical courses now. Import courses from your 2K21. That's exactly what it's saying. If you're on 2K21, build the course. You can build it on 2K21 if you wanted to and bring it on over. First step, and keep in mind the name is going to change probably for you. New, if you have done this before, is winter. There's a winter theme. It's all snowed. You can see if you click on it, it does take it a second to switch over, but that's because it's switching the whole map over that you're about to build. And honestly, on this map that it gives you, you could probably put about 3 golf courses on there. So plenty of room. So you can change the theme. There are a couple themes that are better than others. We will go into that, but we'll go to the Baril. So what we're going to do here is show you how to set up the course. So this isn't as important, the selecting the theme. It is, because once you get into the game, it does kind of change some of the stuff from layout to layout, but you can change this once you get in. So all these settings you can change once you get in. Water, I'm going to turn it to 0. Hills, I'm going to turn it off because I like to create my own stuff whenever I first start in. So I turn this to 0 just to see what I have. And I can show you, once we get into the video, where you would go to change that. So, let's see, layout. I'd always change this back to 0 because you want to create your own hole. Like, you don't have to deal with building a hole. And if you don't do this, you're gonna have to, if you want to delete all those holes that they created already, you're gonna have to delete them already. So we're just gonna go ahead and apply to this. That's showing 0. So what we have here is the name. Keep in mind you can edit it after we get past the screen. You can go to the theme. Keep in mind we can change that after we get into the screen. Terrain, can change that. All this stuff you can change. So let's say, you know what, let's just see what it looks like. Let's go to continue. So it's going to take you to the actual map. It's going to give you a screen here. This course is saved but will not be seen until it's published, which is very true. If you want to publish it, which is meaning you're done with the course, you love it, everything's playable, everything is beautiful how you want it to be, publish your course, and that's how you do it. If you want to rename your course, you go up to here to rename. But if you notice down here at the bottom, it gives us a tab bar. To the left is your cursor, so this is where I'm at. North, obviously, always pointing up at the top. This is the map that you can see with the cursor. All those corners up to this little square are where you can edit. And the reason why there's no trees is because I put there's no trees. Once you kind of put the trees back on, it will filter in to where it looks like they're around environment. So, and it does mirror. We can go into that. So if you do lower this part over here past the map is going to be lowered. So this is what the cursor does. Left stick will move, right stick will tilt. Just follow the buttons respective to your console or PC to the right. So second tab, move over with the right button for the PS4. You can create a hole, create surfaces, so as in bunker, green, anything you want, cart path. I've built the pine straw for like Augusta courses around the rough with the trees. You can do that. Then the next, well, and that's really just that. You can add crowd and out of bounds, which we'll get more into that as you go, because that's more towards the ready to go building a course, and that's something we'll get into in our next video. So the next tab over, going to nature, really just the trees, the stones, the grass, plants, anything that you want to put in specifically, other than just the trees that you've already had pre-built. So basically what that's saying is, like, if you press the triangle, only page 1 and 2 are going to be trees that are natural to this environment here. This pine tree is natural to this environment. Now say I don't want a natural tree. I want this purple sycamore tree that does not belong. You can place it here. No other place around this whole course will have this tree. So it can be good or bad. You can make it a very unique area, or you can make it look very out of place. So basically what this does, this tree will cost you more in memory. So if you look down at that bar at the bottom, you'll see the memory, objectives, and field size. If you don't put a tree that's in the with what becomes natural with the environment, it costs you a little bit more of the file size or memory. So that's basically what that is. I would always pay attention to what buttons are available. So if you go to the trees, and this goes for rocks, this goes for anything. You can go up to the top, and there's where it says trees, there's a filter button, and that says triangle. So that basically you can see where it says theme, non-themed, themed, non-themed. So that's basically how you can do that. We'll go ahead and back out of that. You can go to stones, do the same thing. We can get this all sort of delved into in depth once we start building a course. This is kind of just a brief overview. But landscaping tools, you have your landscape rise, landscape flatten. So you can really, if you wanted to, make there a gigantic mountain in the middle of your property. And you think it doesn't look too real, but then you kind of put that there and you put some trees on it and make this a little bit lowered over here, and voila, you have a mountain range in the middle of your course. And now your course went from a dead set flat, water everywhere because it's so flat, to kind of a mountain range going on below it. And this took you about 2 seconds to do. So, and it does not look perfect, but at the end of the day, you can go through and fine tune this within a few minutes and get it looking pretty decent. So if you ever want to go back, you don't like what you do, press the square button or your respective button to the left on the pad over there, and it will erase it for you. It'll also kind of tell you your options to the bottom right. I'd always pay attention to your options till you get the hang of it. Whenever you're doing this, I would just recommend getting a blank sheet like this and just playing around with the landscape flattening, figuring out how to mess with it to where you're able to do what you see in your head is able to come out into this canvas here, and being able to create what you're wanting. That's a lot of the best ideas I've come up with, and a lot of the best course designs I've come up with were literally just random stuff that I did. So, like, please just, if you want to get good at it, play around with it. This was literally one course I did this. Just blow this up, turn this times as high as I could get it, and let's go ahead and build holes on this. That's what I did for one design, you know, and just kind of created some stuff out here. You can always keep laying that print down and it go all the way over there. But at the end of the day, this is your course, your design, whatever works for you, works for you. That's kind of, the sculpting is the biggest part of setting it up. So you're not going to be able to just build a course. I could build a course right here on this, but this would be super boring. Just straightforward every single time. You're going to have to sculpt, add a little bit of stuff, especially around the greens. You build a green, you don't want it dead flat. So you're going to have to learn to sculpt. That's going to be the main thing. Measuring tool is huge whenever you're building a course. Say, I want my green to for sure be between these 3 ponds. So we want it right here. We're going to clean this up, so we're just going to make this a water hazard all the way around. So then I'm going to say, well, I want to hit from over here, and I want it to be a par 5. So I know on my 3-wood in this game normally goes like, what, 260 or 270? So we'll make it 250 just to make sure that if there's wind, you know. So right there, 259, and then what we normally hit driver 300. So we'll make it 300 yards. So now I know I need to put my tee box somewhere in this area. And that kind of saves a hole until you can kind of get an idea of where you want your next hole. So you can literally just go, okay, well, this one's going to be a par 4 dogleg to the right. I'm going to put a little bit of issues here. And best tip is to double click whenever you're done with your yardage. That way you can just kind of start your next one where you left off. But that's really how you can do that. It's a good tool to use. Get a drink of water here. Alright, so next we have the environment settings. This is where I told you you can go back and affect or change everything. So we're on Baril right now. You can go through and change it. Say, you know what? Not really a fan of this. I want an island. So let's switch it up just a little bit. We're gonna go to an island coastal course here. And you can do this with a couple different ones. You don't have to do this with this one. But see, we got an ocean front already. And some cool stuff's happening. You can probably build some, you know, some water hazards that come into this if you wanted it flat. And then let's change it to ocean front all the way. Let's go ahead. See, here you have mountains in the background. You can change it to whichever backdrop you want on this. You can't do this on the front screen, but you can do this when you're back actually in the course designing. So now we have nothing around on this setting. I could go get something around, but I don't. I want an island. And what this is going to do is be able to design a course right up on the water if we get it set up right. So we changed that. Now lighting, we can always change the lighting as we go. The weather, same thing. You can keep it permanently raining if you wanted to. Fog density, I do mess with this, but it's really after I built the course to what goes for the course. And then after you really built everything, you can really go to the tee box, rough setting, bunker, everything, and recreate the colors, the patterns, everything else you want to do. And then once you're done with the course settings, everything else, and you want to practice your course, you want to play it, you can put wind very high, wind direction. You can change the wind up. You can play course from different holes. So this is really just kind of the brief overview of the Course Designer. Once you get holes set, you'll be able to play them, even if they're not completed. So let's go ahead and put a hole down, just to show you that. Let's put it where we said we're going to put a hole at. I doubt this is going to be what we're going to do, because we're probably going to be changing it up quite a bit. But see, now I created a hole. And it does have the light rough there, but that's because we have forgot to turn our rough down. So now we have nothing. And now we can play this hole. It is going to take a long road because there's no greens, no fairways. We're going to be hitting out of rough all the way up to the hole in the rough. So be pretty tough. Nothing's flat. But you see, you get here an auto-generated tee box, which we can go through and edit once we get done. But I normally leave the auto-generated tee box just to kind of see where everything is at. Ooh, I forgot we put it in the middle of the water right over there. We got us a challenging hole here, Josh. Bet you can't make par. Thought wrong. Ooh. Okay, this is clutch here, Josh. This is clutch here, Josh. No way this putt drops. I bet I can't make par either. Good bet. Alright, let's see if we can get off this hole. And this is going to happen quite a bit where you're just like, you know what? Can't really finish. You can always quit and go back to the course. Designing, and this is just a intro course. Starting from here on out, the goal is to build a whole episode and go over something specific during that episode. So whether that may be building a green, whether that may be sloping a fairway, whether that may be even setting up to build a hole. That is what we're going to be doing. It's going to be 30-minute episodes, and hopefully we'll build it in order to where you can follow along and be able to build the course yourself as we go. But this is all we have for today. Thank you for joining. Please like, subscribe, and give me a comment in the comment section, letting me know what you'd like to see next, letting me know what was helpful, so we can move on and make this channel greater. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good rest.